What are some of the most common mistakes you see people make when it comes to setting up their Google business profile? What are some red flags when it comes to Google business profile? So, common mistakes. I guess a really common mistake is just not filling it out properly and accurately. So, Google these days is really cracking down on spam and fake profiles. Like, you wouldn't believe how many people are creating fake businesses all over the place for one reason or another. And surely you've noticed the amount of spam phone calls and emails you're getting. So Google's constantly trying to battle these things. And one way they're doing it is by really suspending tons of Google listings these days. And so if you are creating a listing or you're managing one, you really need to read the fine print. You need to read the terms and conditions and make sure that you're following all the rules as best as you can. And even if you do that, your listing might still get suspended. And so if it does, you need to jump through the hoops, contact support religiously, like every couple days. If you're not getting a response, contact them. Just try to get a hold of someone so that you can get your listing activated. A lot of people have been contacting me who have been in business for years. They didn't do anything, but their Google listing got suspended, and it's like crashing their business because they get so many customers from it. As soon as that thing gets suspended, like their phone stops ringing. And the only advice I can give is to go read the rules and understand the rules really well and make sure your listing follows all the rules, and then contact them every day, maybe multiple times a day. If your business is stopped and you have nothing to do everything you can to get a hold of Google and get this fixed. I do think they're going through some growing pains right now. I think they've got some systems that are changing, some updates being made, maybe some teams are changing. And so there's a lot of listings being suspended that shouldn't be, and it's taking an extra amount of time to fix these. And so us as the helpless business owners, we just got to do what we can. But it's a good example of you can't really put all your eggs in one basket. There's no fix all when it comes to marketing and getting customers and stuff. You kind of have to do everything and just do it well. And the end game is to be getting referrals. So, you can get a customer from ads, you can get a customer from Yellow Pages, from Google Maps. You want to be getting customers from all over, but you really, really, really want to be getting referrals, because that's the thing that Google can't turn off. Google's not going to turn off your referrals. And so the end game, if you're in business for 10 years, you should be able to survive off referrals alone. You shouldn't always be relying on getting new customers from random places. That's my opinion. Let's see. How important is it to add the information from Google business profile to my website and other social media profiles? Can I add separate phone numbers and stuff like that? You want all mentions of your business across the internet to be as consistent as possible. And that's because Google's the main search engine. Everybody's using it. And Google's just a bunch of computers. And all Google can do is cruise around the internet and read all the information that there is. And so Google is constantly reading all the info, and they read all these instances of your business, and it thinks like, oh, okay, this is another Facebook profile. It's linking to this website, so it must be related to this business. And this website links to this Google profile. And so all of these things must be connected. And so that's what Google's doing. It's always drawn a map of everything. And if it finds a bunch of instances that are mentioning your business, but all of them have a different phone number and slightly different business names, but they all link to the same website, Google's going to be like 60% sure that these are all related to that website and that business, but it's only 60%. So it's not going to show that business as much as one that it's 99% sure that that's all that info is correct. So when it comes to the information that's online about your business, you want it to be as consistent as possible. There's different phone numbers and business names and stuff all over the place. Google's not going to be confident that it knows who you are or that you're legit, and it's just not going to show you, because there's plenty of businesses out there where everything lines up and it's much safer to show them compared to you. Let's see. Should I create a website if I created a Google profile? Does my website have any impact on Google business ranking? Should I create a website if I created a Google business profile? So that just feeds into what I just said. Like, Google's constantly looking all over the internet. So if it is seeing a bunch of instances of your company being represented all over the place on different websites, social media, Google, on a website, as long as that information lines up, it's going to build trust from Google, and Google's going to show you. Google's only going to show you if it trusts you. That's where so many of these issues come from, where people are getting their stuff suspended, it's because for one reason or another, Google isn't trusting them. And so it's suspending them. But, we've got 3 companies showing up here. We've got a whole bunch that aren't. And for a lot of them, it's because they're super far away. But for the ones that aren't far away, it's because Google doesn't trust them as much as the companies that are showing up first. So if you can get Google to trust you, then Google's going to show you to people. And once Google's showing you to people, if you've got more better reviews than the other people being shown, then you're going to get clicked on, you're going to get phone calls, stuff like that. It's actually really simple. People have a way of overcomplicating things, and honestly, it used to be more complicated, but Google took over the whole internet, and now most searches, like over 90%, are happening on Google, and so it makes things a lot simpler. If you understand that Google's just a search engine, they're just trying to show people the best option. How does Google decide who the best option is? Well, it's cruising the internet, it's trying to decide who it can trust the most, and then it's showing whoever that it trusts the most. So that's what SEO is. That's what websites are all about. That's what being on Google is all about. If you're running ads, you're really just kind of taking a shortcut, and you're telling Google, hey, well, I'll just pay you, and then you'll show me up top. And most likely, that's a big trust factor for Google too, because Google doesn't want to just show someone untrustworthy, but if you're willing to pay money to be seen, then you're probably more trustworthy than someone that's trying to get a free ride, right? Hopefully that answers your question. All right, next question. I saw that people are complaining that their Google business profile is getting suspended and they have problems getting it live. Did you see that happen, and do you have any advice? So I just covered this a minute ago, but yeah, it's happening more and more. It's happening to people that don't really deserve it, but that's just the way it goes. And since Google has a monopoly on internet search, we can't really do anything about it except jump through their hoops and do whatever we need to do to get them to show us. So if Google suspends your profile, go read the terms and conditions, go through every detail of your profile, make sure it's accurate, make sure that your business name, your address, your phone number all matches what you have on your website, what you have on your Facebook. If you just go Google the name of your company, this is our company. So if you Google the name of your company, everything that shows up here, Open Corporates, Better Business Bureau, VY Maps, Facebook, you want to go through all these things and make sure that they line up with your website, with your Google listing. And if you can do that, then at least you know that you're following the rules to the best of your ability. And then you go to Google support and you contact them and you fill out their forms and you do everything you can to get a hold of somebody. In my experience, if you can just get a hold of someone, then you're good. But it's actually finding someone to talk to that's the hardest part.